お前はもう死んでいる。何？
This is what Bitcoin just did to everyone that doubted it. 50k has officially been breached. Welcome back, guys. This is Yix here at Magna Crypto, back again with another video. So in today's video, we're just going to do a quick update on Bitcoin finally breaking the almighty $50,000. Very important mark or milestone even. But in this video, we're going to just do some updates on SORA, a very promising project that I'll be running on Polkadot, and also another update on Cosmos. Well, not even an update, just an illustration as to the potential or the already realized potential of Cosmos and what it can accomplish going forward. So let's get straight into it. First and foremost, we have literally, as you can see, just breached 50,000 for the first time in Bitcoin's history. It was slowly creeping up. As mentioned in previous videos, it was forming an ascending triangle. Let me just go to this other chart. A rising wedge, as you can see here. And it hasn't quite broken out just yet. Now, we had a nice wick to the upside, which broke 50k, but we still need a strong, convincing break to the upside. If we use this leg as a measuring tool, we can see potentially we can have, well up to 60k. However, I would probably be more conservative with this and use potentially half the amount, which would be about 54k. So on my Twitter, I said, is this the day we're going to see 52k? I think once we break 50k, is going to be a quick push towards next target 51 and 52, because of course the selling pressure at 50k is a big round number. People tend to take profits at these big even numbers. So when you get past that, all the selling pressure has been relieved, and it's just basically buying pressure to the upside until the next major selling point. So I do suspect once we break above this rising wedge with an actual candle closure, I think it will be a push to the upside. But let's see. There's of course also the possibility of a break to the downside, some kind of fake out before continuing up, because this hasn't happened yet. And normally when I see a very clear cut chart pattern, I do suspect that there will be some kind of move to misdirect people before continuing it in its true direction. So let's be cautious and not get tricked, and just see how price progresses throughout today and the rest of the week. But today, this video is not about Bitcoin as such, it's more about SORA and Cosmos. So SORA, as I've mentioned before, they're aiming to be the first decentralized bank, which will be running on the Polkadot network as well as Kusama. And also they are aiming to be supernatural blockchain. So they want to actually connect with other blockchains like Ethereum and others, and actually have a global DeFi ecosystem. So very big targets, big ambitions. I invested in it from my previous video. So it's doing pretty good. I think it's about 50-60% up, and the market cap is still below 100 million. It's 93 million. Circulating supply is 350,000, and the volume is pretty good. So just a small update. They all come in three. So Polka Swap is developed on SORA. So, and the Fearless wallet is also going to be intertwined with that. So it's going to be the main wallet used for SORA, for Polka Swap and things like that. So just a small update, and that is that they're working on version 2 and they're working on its migration. So they're still in the process of designing that, and I think in Q2 is when they'll be getting close to finishing that. So still some way to go, but it's good to see, of course, updates to see where it's at. And PolkaSwap as well, some developments for this. The testnet has been updated with some new features. Create liquidity pools, swap any pairs directly on the UI, add liquidity, room liquidity, both functions, and a few other updates. And there's been a few updates with the Fearless wallet as well. Mainly the website has been updated and published. So it's going along well. I think definitely throughout the year they'll be coming out with some more updates as time goes on, and they'll be getting closer to the full release. So all three projects are moving in tandem. So as one progresses, the other progresses as well. And once SORA has fully been developed and released, I think the price will go soaring, because it's one of the main projects that will be built on Polkadot, and it's got one of the most potential to go really far, in that it's going to be a massive infrastructure for loads of other projects to be built on there, like PolkaSwap, which is already doing very well in the market in terms of price. We're going to look at the price as well and do some TA, of course. But let's first look at just an illustration about Cosmos. And I've mentioned this 100 times. The reason why I think it's going to do well is not because of the technology per se, even though it's very good, very interoperable, great SDK kit and the sorts of that. That's not why I think it's going to do very well. I think it's going to do very well because of what you're seeing right there. All the projects that have already been built on there, and that is a result of the fact developers are flocking towards Cosmos. And this is the key part why it's going to do well. Why Ethereum is number one in terms of the dApp ecosystem is because it was the first one to actually allow the capability of applications to be built on there. And that's probably why it's so popular, and maybe the leader as well. Probably the leader as well. Vitalik Buterin is a weird kind of enigmatic leader. But because developers are always flocking towards Ethereum, it's their go-to. That's why it's so popular, because everyone it's already the kind of Silicon Valley of blockchain. I think that's the best analogy to use. It's a Silicon Valley of blockchain development. So that's why all the value gets attracted to it. And that's why I think Cosmos will do well, because it's not Silicon Valley, but it's definitely close. It's attracting a lot of developers over there. And thus, that's why you have so many projects being built on there. Look at the just different types of projects: smart contracts, privacy services, infrastructure, finance, and a lot of big brands, big names, should I say. As mentioned in previous videos, the likes of Akash, Band Protocol, Matic, Bluezell, the list goes on. Carver, Thorchain, Binance Smart Chain. All these projects have been built on Cosmos, and of course, going forward, more projects will be building on Cosmos with their release of Stargate, which I think is happening imminently. So those are the two things I wanted to make this video on mainly, and let's have a look at the price. So firstly, as we just spoke of, Atom, 13% today. It's hit a new all-time high of $26. So it's absolutely smashing it. We had some selling pressure, as mentioned before, around $20. So you had a lot of selling pressure. It actually retraced quite a bit towards $14, $15, one of the key levels, as you can see here, and it's now continued on. Now this correction may give it enough fuel, may have attracted enough liquidity to now push on towards $30 and beyond. Now in the last video, $25 was the level that I was looking at. It's now been met. So now I'm looking at $30 and beyond, and then we'll see when it's time for another correction. But big hopes for Atom, definitely a long-term hold, and even a short-term as well. It's done so well in the last few weeks and months. So let's just check again. From this chart pattern, it's done a good almost 3x, so absolutely smashing it. Looking at SORA, which is XOR, the only data we can look at is looking at compared to wrapped ETH. So at the moment, if you want to buy SORA, you got to do it on a decentralized exchange. Uniswap, Mooniswap, and the likes. Bilaxy, I think that might be a centralized exchange, but mainly the volume is on Uniswap and the decentralized exchanges. So this is the most data you're going to find. And what it's looking like to me is a measured move. And this is looking like a descending flag formation. So you've got this massive flag pole, and then you've got this bouncing in between these two levels, descending counter trend line and descending trend line. So once this breaks, I think it's going to be explosive move to the upside. In dollar value, I don't know what that would be. I think at the moment it's around $200 per token because there's only 350,000 in circulation. So once this breaks out of this pattern, this flag formation, I think it's going to be an explosive move to the upside. This is, in my opinion, a bullish chart pattern. So definitely once we break forward, upwards, might be a breakdowns first. Once we break upwards, there'll be some resistance around here, of course. This is the previous high. And after that, it will be in price discovery mode. And thus it will be shooting to the moon. So high hopes for SORA. If you haven't already done so, I would say have a look at it properly and consider building small positions. But that's what I've done. That's the actions I took. If you think it's a good project, do what you need to do. So that's what this video was about. I hope you got some value from that, and see you in the next video. Peace.